Hello there, traders. Chances are, if you found this video, you know all too well about the pain of updating economic data, trying to use VBA or some sort of screening of different websites to capture fundamental economic data around the world to build your trading process. And you also know about updating your watch list and how much of a pain and how time consuming this really can be, and it makes trading a lot more difficult than it needs to be. So you're probably thinking there's got to be an easier way to automate this process and to make trading a lot easier. For those of you who are, say, more technical and technical traders, this would also be a great video for you to watch. If you're a fundamentals trader, this is the video. Trust me, this will transform your entire process and the way you trade. It should become a lot more simpler and, at the very least, save you some money and save you a lot of time in your process. So, okay, what is this platform that I'm about to present to you? So, it is a stripped down version of a Thomson Reuters terminal in layman's terms. It's produced by a company called Metastock Xenith, who have a relationship with Thomson Reuters to provide a very similar service to the Thomson Reuters Eikon terminal, but for retail traders. It has over 60,000 data series. Yeah, that's a lot. So if the data isn't on there, you probably don't need it, and it's probably data that no one's looking at. Um, all quant and economic data is accurate and up to date and updates instantly because it's Thomson Reuters data. The data is updated in real time, so you don't need to worry about if it's delayed. If you're getting data from, say, another source on the internet, you don't know if it's accurate or if it's delayed by how much, and so that impacts on your trade ideas, whether that's forex or stocks or whatever asset classes you'll be trading. Um, so what can this platform actually do? It can do everything, in short. It can automate your worldview and macro data for any nation in the world, automate stats for stocks, so average to range, open to high, closed data, automate stock screening for stocks globally with accurate real-time data, automate quant data for stocks, FX pairs, commodities, nations, and then it can also automate qualitative news data for any stock, FX pair, commodity nation. Can automate watch lists as well for up to 4,000 entries per tab. Yes, you can have multiple tabs. You can have separate longs and shorts. You can automate news and price alerts via this platform to either your email or text message, and you can have up to 4,000 alerts per day. Has a simple Excel plugin, so you can like put all your macro data that you want to look at into one Excel spreadsheet for a single nation or a group of nations, so you can come up with ideas that way or monitor nations fundamentals that way, so that can give you ideas for stock trading ideas, forex ideas, bond ideas, and commodity trading ideas. You can even use this for crypto. So, in short, this is the platform to have to trade equities, forex, bonds, commodities, crypto, using the best fundamentals data and technical analysis data available, bar none. This results in a huge time saving and cost saving benefits. I've had the platform for like 18 months now, and once you go with Eikon, you just don't go back. It's by far and away the best thing for a retail trader, and for the retail trader who takes trading seriously, though. So what are the costs? It can't all just be this great. So you can pay for the cheapest Metastock subscription, which I currently have, which is $99 per month. When you initially subscribe to the service, there's a trial period of 99 US dollars for 3 months. If you don't like it, that's it. Fine, cancel it right then. There's no strings attached, no long-term contracts. If you don't like it, that's it. You're finished. Otherwise, it's 99 US dollars per month. Works both on Mac and PC. It's compatible with multiple screen setup. Can be used with multiple computers, but only one access at any one time. No VBA is required. No Python. No programming skills. If you did need that, I wouldn't be able to use it. It's just very simple, point and click, and a few formulas in Excel, and away you go. How long does it take to set up and get used to? It takes minutes to download and set up any software, like as standard is today. And then it will take you a bit of time to get used to the platform because it is a lot of information and a lot of data is in there. But within a week or two, you should be up to speed and it should be like using any other piece of software that you currently have. Okay, and so are there any other catches or anything? So the only things that I've learned in the last year or so is that the price charts are delayed by 15 minutes on the 99 US dollars per month package. You can pay for live prices, and that's $150 per month for the US, and that's about the only catch there is. I did research into global manufacturing PMIs, but they give you the same amount of data that is available on the fully fledged Thomson Reuters terminal or a Bloomberg terminal, so that's not really a catch. Okay, so I've spoken quite a bit about the platform and how it can save you guys a lot of time and save you some money as well. So how about I just show you the platform now? So this is going to be an overview of the entire platform. So it's going to take me a bit of time, and then afterwards I should be producing subsequent videos to go into each of the different apps and sections with a bit more detail, and some Excel spreadsheets that I've produced that will probably help you in also trading as well. And then in the description below, I've got links to the user manuals that accompany the software, which should help you a lot when you first start. And also there is a referral link which would help me out. That would be great. So if you do find this video helpful or this platform something of interest, please do use the referral link below, and also like and share the video to any other traders that you may know that this would help. So without further ado, let's get to the platform. So I've already opened the platform up. Here we are. I've created multiple tabs here at the top. Just this is the way I trade. At the very top here is like a Google search bar. You can just use this to search for anything. Just say you're interested in gold, you can just type in gold and you get like a gold app, and then it's loading up in the background, but here it is. And you can see here it will give you all the gold information that is available, different tickers, different news articles, where's the gold price, anything and everything to do with gold will be on here. And with any great toy, whenever you get it, you just click on all the buttons to see what everything does. But I like to start off with the news section. I just type in, I've already set up to show me the news front page, and this gives me all the news around the world that is moving or potentially moving markets. So at the moment we've got European stocks. So if I just click on the main headline, it will give me the exact Thomson Reuters news article as to what's happening, all the tickers, any fundamental news or price changes, etc. that there is. Click on the back button, and we can quickly go to central banks news, see if there's anything newsworthy for just central banks. Go back to world news. What's globally changing things, obviously, right now is the China and US trade war that seems to be impacting on the markets the most at the moment. We've got financial services, we have investment banking news, we can have breaking news as well. You can set up all these alerts as well. I'll be showing that you a bit later on or in a subsequent video. Commodities news, energies news, metals news, anything US companies news, European news, Asian news, even different national regional news depending on the countries you want to look at. So we can go to foreign exchange news, see what's happening there, and then we can also change it to different languages as well. And we also have sport as well. So if you want to know what Djokovic is doing in the tennis right now, or the NFL in America, they even have news articles for those. But we'll go back to the main news front page. So what else is there that is of value? So we also have this page here, which tells me the main sector rotation in ETFs. You can see which ETFs via nation and via sector are growing or contracting, which is always important in impacting your decision making for trading. We can go to global fund flows, which tells you which countries are gaining funding and which are losing funding, and across which asset class as well, and across which time frame. So the platform itself is very is great for people who are very technical and have a lot of computer skills. You can create your own apps and whatnot. There are a whole bunch of different apps on here. I'll probably go into them more detail in another video, but very quickly you can have analytics, so correlation matrix, historical returns, volatility, things like the regression analysis, charting, many different types of charts and different ways to slice and dice company information and charting abilities. So we have markets and different guides and different apps to view different asset classes and whatnot. And there's a whole bunch of different stuff on here. My favorite though is the Excel template library, and here it comes pre-packed with 250 different templates, and they're just fantastic. So if I go to economics, cross-data economics means you can compare two different countries' economic data, which is fantastic. Estimates is great for when you're looking at stocks, so you can look at the analyst details, brokerage recommendations, company test sheets, EPS historical estimates, EPS revision trends, estimate surprise, FX polls, historical PE ratio, index sector. All you literally need to do is just click download, change the ticker within the spreadsheet, update it, and it will give you that stock's information on all of these. So we even got peer analysis and things like that. Um, many different things, or options calculations. Here we have an average true range spreadsheet that will just calculate all the average true ranges for you right there and then. Ownerships, how to do things, it's all really here built out for you. A lot of helpful resources. So that's really good just for as a cursory overview of what initially you'll find. So one of the biggest bears that I have is always remembering which economic data is coming out as a retail trader. It would be great to have some sort of automated calendar, and here you are. So this is the Economic Monitor Economic Events app, as it were, and you can set this to many different variables. Go into details in another video, but on this overview you can see any nation that you want to look at. We're currently getting data for United Arab Emirates. It will tell you when the data is coming out in your local time, what data it is, what event type it is, what period we're looking at, what was the poll, what was the actual, was it a surprise to the upside or downside, and what is it compared to previous data. And this gives you every single economic data, whether it's leading, coincident, or lagging data for every nation in the world. You can set it up for G20, G7, G8, and whichever countries you're interested in. Even if you're just interested in just the United States, you can set it to just that. You wake up in the morning, open up the platform, boom, you can just look at what data is coming up this week, this month, etc. Or you can just have alerts set up to your phone so you can always get the data. Very quickly up here, we've got volatility indices. It shows you data for every single volatility indice that there is. So that's fantastic. So yeah, most people just look at the VIX, which is fantastic. But if you want to look at any of the other volatility indexes, they're all here as well. So, okay, we can monitor the data and whatnot. So if we just click on, so the tabs, like I said, I created at the top, very easy to save. And once you save them, they're all there saved. You can save them into my Eikon. So you've got my files here, my briefcase, which is like where you can save charts and workspaces and all different things there. Just takes a bit of time just getting used to the terminology, so you can create new workspaces, open a saved workspace that you have. If you create templates, you can save them there. It does come pre-packaged with some templates, but you may not like them. I didn't like them that much, so I just created my own, but there we go. So if we click on the United States, because United States is the biggest country in the world with respect to GDP. So I got the United States News app here. You can just look at what news is impacting on the United States markets. Right now, it's just European stocks are extending the rally as we seem to have a mellowing out in some trade rhetoric between China and the United States. So that's good to have a look at in the mornings. And interest rate probabilities just tell me which way the interest rates are going in different countries. Always good to know. Always going to impact on decisions of where money is flowing and which markets you should be investing in. So you can go to interest rate probabilities and I can change it to different central banks around the world. So I have it set up on the Federal Reserve for the United States, obviously. You can click on the doves and the hawks, and you can see who's dovish and who's hawkish on the board, which is great, especially right now. looks like we've finished a hiking cycle and we're in a cutting cycle. But we'll see. Seems like the board is pretty neutral right at the moment, but we'll see how dovish the Fed gets. Um, that's interesting. So then we can also go to the bond yields monitor. This will monitor every single bond yield that you have at the United States. Fantastic. You can set that up for any country. Then you can also do rate spreads, which is always good to see where money's going between different nations. I just set it up as United States versus United States, just as a generic term. Then when I'm looking at different countries, I just change the country to whichever country I want, and you can create a cross table very, very quickly, very, very easily. If then we can go now to, there's two main different types of charts. There's kind of like a log chart, which is what you're looking at here. This is great for every single type of technical analysis, where your Fibonacci's, your different patterns, your different ability to draw different lines, etc. Anything and everything that you've seen on, say, competitor websites out there is available on here. Volume analysis, RSI, MACD, Bollinger Bands, you name it, it's all got it here. And so on this chart, I've got the 2 and the 10-year of the United States, and then the difference between the two of them. You can do charts within charts like I've shown. So now you've got the S&P versus the 210, which is important right now. But then you can also do things like this as a financial chart. Those who understand Python and VBA and all this type of stuff in Excel know that once you go to 2 or more series in Excel, it takes forever to build out charts with the same time scale on them. On this platform, you have something called RICs, which are Reuters identification codes. So these are codes for different instruments and data points. So what you're looking at here is the S&P versus the ISM, the 210, sentiment, and building permits. And you can add in several more if you wanted to, and they would all perfectly load up on their different respective scales, but all on the same time scale. And this takes literally seconds to do. Then you can save this and add it or whatever, or export it to Excel, and that's it. The chart's here for life. You just saved it. There's no messing around. Every time you load up, you can either load up the chart, or it will just load up by itself. So rather than wasting people's time, I've done the same. I've done similar things for China, Europe, and global stuff. But let's just take some data points. So if we look at, say, the German zoo. So this is like the sentiment or for Europe, as you can say, and it will give you the entire data going back to its inception. When is it expected? What was it prior? You can click on press release. It will take you to the website where you can read the German zoo if you wish to. You can export it to Excel, go all applicable years, download. If I click open, and if we give it a bit of time, okay, we click enable. There's the Thomson Reuters plugin in Excel. And if I click refresh workbook, boom, you got all the data going all the way back to 1991. Fantastic. Click on don't save, close that. That's for later. So that's for Germany. So if we click in, if we type in ISM, manufacturing, oops. ISM manufacturing. Yep, there we go. Again, when is it expected? What was it prior? Click on max, and you can get the entire ISM. You can even get the small, like the new orders, the deliveries, all that type of constituent parts of the ISM as well, and any other fundamental indicator out there. So if I click on the press release, it will take me, obviously, like you've seen before, to the website. I can click on here, have a good read through, copy and paste anything that I like into Excel, and that's it. I've got everything. So you can do this for every single fundamental indicator that there is. Let's just pick a nation. So if I type in, say, Poland, I pick Poland because everybody knows who Poland the country, but we also know it's a smaller nation, so the data is probably a bit more obscure. So I just typed in Poland, clicked on more search results, economic indicators. Look, you see it says 1,000, nearly 300. You can click on there, and sure enough, every single economic indicator that is available for Poland is here. And you can click to export to Excel and then do your filtering to find the business surveys, the consumer surveys, whatever surveys you want to look at. So if you just click in business surveys here, there's over 650 of them. and you can just pick and choose. So we've got Poland PMI manufacturing sector. That's going to be the most important one for any nation really. But there we go, and you can get when is it coming out, etc. You put these into Excel with the formulas, and away you go. You'll be able to display everything. So this is the same for every other nation that there is. So even for, like, say, let's look at the United States. So we'll just click on here, open it up, wait for it to load up. So over 8,000 economic indicators for the United States. So you're definitely going to get the granularity that you want when you're looking at the United States or any nation for trading in, whether that's FX, whether that's bonds, whether that's stocks, or whatever it is, whatever you wish to trade. It's all really here. So once you've developed your macro sheets or your macro viewpoint, then the next stage is to start doing some stock screening. If you're into stocks, bonds, it becomes fairly obvious which way you should be trading then, and FX becomes fairly trading best nations versus worst nations, etc. So if we do some stock screening, we can have a look at so a link in the description will take you straight to this page. I've set it up for Australia just because A is for Australia, but you can slice and dice it either via nation or via sector, because they have a sector analysis here as well. So you can see it has the NYSE, Shenzhen, Tokyo, the Nasdaq, Shanghai, Hong Kong, London Stock Exchange, India, Toronto, Australia, Taiwan, Euronext Paris, Korea, the Italian Bovespa, Thailand, Nordic, Milan. Everything is pretty much here, and you can get any stock of any size for whatever that you look at. I tend to look at anything that is greater than 800 million USD, and you can just click here, export to Excel, and the whole thing will just export to Excel. So you can just log in, say, once every couple of weeks, download a new example, so a new spreadsheet, and that's it. You've automated your stock screening process as well. And you can amend the columns that I've got here. I tend to look at EPS, earnings growth, PE ratios, operating margins, debt to equities, dividend yields, and whether the EPS is rising or lowering, and things like that. And there's a whole bunch of different categories you can add here. I like to keep it fairly simple. Some people go into a lot more detail, but there you go. It gives you the RIC codes, the actual stock ticker, and yeah, you can trade them. Simple as that. Then you can do your stock screening process, find which ones you want to trade. That's that. So okay, we've done the macro, we've done the stock screening. Now we want to look at a specific stock. So I usually look at Amazon because when I'm showing people about the platform and whatnot, Amazon is a good reference point for everyone. So here you see a overview of the stock, and I say overview, this is still quite some detail as it is. So we'll kick it off with the overview part here, and do bear in mind in subsequent videos I'll go in more detail, but just for now, for the purposes of this general overview of the platform, we'll try to keep it short. So we can have a complete business overview of the stock. This even works for the small caps and for foreign stocks as well. Who are the officers? Who are the main people? Jeff Bezos, of course. You click on homepage, it takes you to the website for Amazon, so you can see what Amazon's about, but also their investor relations. Doesn't look like it wants to load up today, but you can trust me, it does. It definitely does load up. And then it will break down the revenue in terms of product line and geographic region very quickly. It tells you which stock markets it's currently trading on as well. So that's great as well. You can get a valuation summary, a good, quick, and easy look at the stock right there. And then we can go to fundamentals. This will show you some more fundamentals. It's enterprise value, debt ratios, things like PEs, pegs, dividends, blah, 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 things like that, EPS movements year over years, very quickly sliced and diced information. News, this will give you all the news results, so the qualitative information for a given stock for the last year. The ones in red are seen as very important. The ones on the right hand side are what other traders are reading, so that's also important as well. They also have a social media monitor. Just say some breaking news has happened, it's moving a stock very strongly, but you can't find any news articles or whatever. Maybe something's being reported on social media. So that's the news part. If we go to price charts, this becomes really interesting. You can find sort of quote history, price performance, short interest. I'll show you that as well. So what you're looking at here is Amazon's stock price against its revenue and its EPS. And you can see clearly when EPS goes higher and revenue goes higher, so does Amazon's. When it goes sideways, so does Amazon. You can change EPS or EBITDA, anything you want to look at here with net debt, EPS fully reported, etc., and you can change the time frame as well. So I'll be looking out to 2022, the next quarter, etc. And it does show in great granularity as well. So this is just like forward looking by one quarter, and you can see the yellow line how the EPS has changed over time. I'll change it back to 2022. Okay. Short interest. So we can see a detailed view of the short interest. Currently, we have less than 1% of the float is being shorted. So not many shorts about for Amazon. Estimates, which is great because we want to see what's going to be happening in the future. So the green bars is the quarterly EPS historically, which has already happened, actuals, and then the blue one is what's going to happen in the future, and this is on an annual basis. And here at the bottom, you've got the form, you've got different parts of the statement of the company, whether it's the Form 10K and how it's sliced and diced. So it's the revenues, the cost of goods sold, gross income, gross profit margin, selling marketing expenses, research and development, stock-based operating expenses, EBITDA, depreciation, amortization, EBIT, interest expense, tax rate, in net income, earnings per share, as I've visually shown you the up above, tax profit, net income, dividend per share. It's all here. It's very, very easy to find and to get to that information quickly. Uh, Analyst recommendations. So here you get a snapshot of every single analyst that is looking at Amazon, all around 50 of them, and whether they're getting more bearish or more bullish. And the dotted line, the orange dotted line here at the top is the price target. The orange line that is solid is the current price target, and you can see how far away Amazon is from its current price target. And then it gives you a recommended mean average. The lower the number, the better it is. The higher the number, the worse it is. So we've looked at that. So we can look at the financials, and now we can look at the income statement. This is really good. So we can also look at segments. We've already seen that though. Major customers. Amazon doesn't have major customers because it's Amazon. Um, but for other smaller, say semiconductors and whatnot, if like say a quarter of the revenue is coming from company X, it will tell you. And then so the statement view gives you for the last 6 years 6 years of data in terms of its actual fundament, the profits or the losses or revenues or all that type of business information from the company, all here, all at a click of a button. Very nice, very simple and easy to use. What else can we show you? Events is great because this will tell you when the next earnings call is coming up, but also give you the earnings call transcript. So you can click on T for the most recent one. So that's on the 25th of July when Amazon last reported. You can click on T. If you click play, you'll start listening to the earnings call. You can click on auto scroll, so it will scroll down with the audio. You can download a PDF, a Word file, a text file, an MP3 if you want. You can also just click anywhere that highlighted text, and it will start playing from that point of view, from that point. And so this makes going through the earnings call really, really quickly and easy. So if you've missed the earnings call, it will be uploaded on here. No problem, no problems. You can just have a quick look for it, find it, and listen to it in your own time. Ownership is great because then here you can see which ETFs are owning the stock, and institutions have come into them, etc. Very high level detail analysis here as well. Debt is also available, but Amazon doesn't really have any debt. It's more, say, relevant, say, Netflix, which has 10 billion in debt. Peer analysis, which is also very good, but you still need to do a bit of a head check. Who can really compare to Amazon? Nobody really. Fine, yeah, Wayfair and Etsy are retailers, but they're not comparative to Amazon, really, are they? So you can still just do your stock screening and figure out which ones really compete with who. So there's still some work for you to do. Derivatives is great for if you're watching from the United States, or if you prefer to trade via options. You can see, are people buying calls, puts. You can find out the prices of different option strategies that you're trying to implement here. So you don't even need to go to your trading platform. You just need to just open up your platform, put the trade on, close it down. That's it, you're done. Filings, if you're still not happy, every single filing that a company has to produce for the SEC to trade in America, for example, will be uploaded on here. You can just click on any one of them, the PDFs will load up, and then you can have a look at the information, whether that's the most recent quarterly, the Form 10K, whatever it may be, they're all on here. So here you've got the Form 4 and every single part of it that was produced. So that's the stocks and whatnot. So you've done all your analysis and blah blah blah. You made a decision on whatever else you want to do about the stock, whether you want to go long or go short. Then you can go to the watch list. So here's just an example of a different type of watch list. So what you're looking at here is a gigantic watch list that I have, but it's a watch list within the app which you can create, and the first one you can have and you can create any column you want to. First column I have is the RIC, the currency is traded in, what exchange it's on, its full name, when's the next event, so press conference, or whether it's a say earnings event, what time in your geographic location, its last traded price, its current price target, on what volume did it trade that day, the last 10 days, the last 3 months, any outstanding shares, percent change today, market hasn't opened yet, percent change for the week, for the month, for the 3 months, for the quarterly, for the 6 months, for the yearly, and then some extra information on when the year end for the stock is, which industry it's in, etc. And like I said, you can have multiple tabs, so you can have one for ETFs or different country ETFs that just monitor the Dow Jones, just monitor FX and whatnot. But you may have also noticed, so this gives you the price action, which is great, and helps you to enter or time a trade much better than just throwing a trade on or just looking at technical analysis. So you may have noticed a green lock here. So you can have an options of different locks here. So this green lock is locked to another screen that I have, and that's here, and that's the actual chart with my RSI, with my volume, my candlesticks, and with my moving averages on a weekly basis chart. I like to look at weekly. Some people look at different time frames. You can go to smaller time frames, much even 1 minute. So don't worry if you're a short-term trader. I'm more of a long-term trader, say 1 month to 12 months. So my point is, the green locks means that these screens are locked. So if I click on the next one, say NVCR, you can see the chart automatically changes, and this is on my other screen that I have. So you can see if I come in on whichever day to monitor my watch list, say at the end of every day or every week, I can very quickly go through my entire watch list and see which stocks I want to go long or which stocks I want to short, just based on the price action and the chart, any technical analysis, etc. Once I've done my fundamental analysis on the global macro, and then which areas, which stocks have screened, etc., etc., and then finally just monitor them in the watch list, rather than having to painstakingly update these myself on the weekends and waste several hours of my life. So, and then finally, I just have a area of charts. These are just like long-term charts that I've just saved. So if I just want to look at different charts around and compare different long-term relationships, say the XME, which is the commodities ETF, versus the dollar index and a particular stock. So you can see the dollar index in purple. Whenever that surges, commodities basically get hammered. So, and we're also starting to see that now. We've also been seeing that in the last, say, 18 months or so. Great way to have idea generation, comparing, PMIs and different data points to different stocks to see how they form, and different more macro things like how bond yields affect things, and how gold price changes according gold to oil ratios, things like that. You can just save those relationships in here and look at them every now and again to formulate your worldview or any concerns you may have in going on in the future. And we also have something which I think is really interesting, and that is the commitment of traders reports. So this is available for commodities, indices, and Forex. And you can see which way the so-called pro money is positioning their finances, positioning their money against certain asset classes and certain trades. So this is really good with also timing the market as well. So you're moving your money to, at the same time the smart money is moving their money. So that's a brief overview of the platform. There's an awful lot to take in. There's an awful lot of information on the platform, and I'll go further into them into the different apps in later videos. If you have any requests, you can put them in the comments, and also I will also be showing you some Excel stuff. So